So I just launched my first book this summer called Not Your How-To Guide to Real Estate Investing, Life Lessons on Hacking Your Mind Before You Hack Your Wallet. And when I was writing the book, I was pretty excited about the book in general, and each chapter to me has a significant amount of meaning just because it's really all the biggest things that have helped me along the way. But one chapter in particular of the book has always kind of been my pet chapter, if you will. It's my favorite chapter. It's my favorite concept in the book. It's kind of like right in the middle of the book. And I was like, I wonder if I should make a bigger deal out of this because I think it's one of the most powerful concepts in the book. And what has been really exciting now that the book's been out for a little while is now that the reviews are coming in on Amazon, a lot of people are mentioning this particular chapter. And I am partially excited about it because it's just exciting to know that something I wrote is actually helping people. But it's also really exciting because people are seeing the value in this concept, just like I see the value in the concept for myself. So what is the concept? You've probably already figured it out based on the title of this video. In my opinion, there are three true currencies that we use all the time. Money, we all know. That's just the obvious currency. We buy things with it, we sell with it, like that's the obvious currency. But the two lesser known currencies, in my opinion, and arguably some of the most important ones, are time and sanity. So my theory is that in any given situation, when you're getting something or giving something or whatever, you are spending one or more of those three currencies, whether it be money, time, or sanity. And there's trade-offs between all of them. So for example, I invest in turnkey rental properties, thinking of the real estate investing side. I spend more money on that in order to save myself time and sanity. I could do a really complicated flip or distressed property or a BRRRR property or whatever, but for me, that would cost me so much in the other two currencies. To save money, I would have to spend more in time and sanity. So think about an everyday situation. So in the book, I use the example of you want to build some bookshelves in your house. And this example is straight out of the book. You want to build some bookshelves in your house. What are your two options for doing that? You can do it yourself, with the theory probably being that you're going to spend a lot less. So you really just have to buy materials and then you do all the work. Or you hire somebody, which probably inevitably is going to cost you a lot more money to hire somebody. Well, think about the three true currencies in relation to this. And those currencies, I keep counting them on my fingers because they're very important. Those three currencies are going to be different for everybody else. So for me in particular, in the example I had given in the book, I'm not handy. I don't know the first thing about building bookshelves aside from getting a shelf and supports for it. And I know to make sure the holes are drilled into the studs or, you know, whatever, make sure it's anchored properly. Past that, not my strong suit. I'm not naturally handy. I don't particularly get any joy out of that kind of work. I really only get joy out of things that I'm decently good at or trying to improve on, of which building bookshelves does not fit into that category. And ultimately, given that it's books, I think I said this in my book, given that it's books, it's really important for the supports to be proper because books are very heavy. So if you do some shoddy job on your bookshelf, well, guess what's going to come falling out of your wall as soon as you load it up full of books? So for me personally, I would rather spend more in the money currency if it means saving myself time and sanity. Some people might be naturally handy and love doing that kind of work. So in order for them to save the money, they don't lose anything on the sanity. In fact, it might actually bring them joy. They'll lose some stuff on time, but you know, it sounds like a worthy investment if it's bringing you joy and you're saving money. So in every scenario, all three of those currencies are involved, and it may be different for all of them. So you have to really look at, sure, you may spend more in one or more of them, but which one are you saving on? So for me, my sanity all day long is the most important. If something is going to cost me all of my sanity, it is not worth a money savings in my department, in my opinion. I would rather spend more in order to keep my sanity and quite often my time. I don't mind, you know, working or spending my time as much, but like, let's say that this is not my scenario, but let's say you are married with 5 kids and you have a full-time job. The value of your time is suddenly very important. It's important for all of us, but especially if you don't have much of it left. suddenly the value of that currency is tremendous. So maybe you would get joy out of building your own bookshelves and you get to save the money, but you may not have the time to spare to do that. So if it means saving time in that scenario, maybe you spend more money to hire someone to do it. There's every combination under the sun about this. But if you actually spend the time for the next week, anytime you're about to buy something or you're thinking about doing something or a project or whatever, think about those three things: money, time, and sanity, because you are going to pay for that thing in one or more of those. So which one is more important? And then a non-real estate investing example, think about hiring a maid. I actually went through this pondering myself years ago, and I was, I had just started my company. I wasn't making a lot of money, and I was thinking, well, should I hire a maid? Like, I don't really want to spend the money on that. I don't even have the spare money to spend on that. But again, it's not just about the money all the time. So money, time, sanity. Well, in that case, cleaning doesn't take away my sanity, but it does take away my time. Well, what's my time worth? Let's say my time is worth $50 an hour. So if I spend, to do a really deep clean on my place, I could spend easily 6 hours doing it. So let's say 6, let me get my calculator. I should be able to do this in my head, but I don't want to. It's $50 times 6 hours. That's $300. So if I don't spend time working and I spend time cleaning, I'm arguably losing $300 based on the value of my time. Well, how much was it going to cost to hire that maid who can probably do the same job in 2 hours? Let's say it cost me $100. So what's more expensive? And that's well, it's not a different conversation. That's more of the value of your time conversation. But, think about it in terms of, again, what are you spending more of, and which currency is more important to you? Is it worth saving the money? Is it worth keeping your sanity? Or is it worth saving you time? Figure out which one of those has the most value for you and use that to help you decide how you want to go about doing something. And the reason why this is so important is because, we hear all the time, oh, well, you shouldn't spend that much money on that. You should do this. And, oh, you should do all the work yourself and whatever. Well, cool. But I think most of us at this point in our lives have probably figured out that if we do everything the world tells us we should be doing, at a minimum, we might lose all our sanity. So it's about your own, it's kind of helping say yes and no to things. Like, yes, okay, I should do that, but no, I don't want to do that because my time and sanity at that point is at risk. Or maybe I legitimately don't have the money to spend on it, and it's worth me sacrificing a little time and sanity in order to save that money. Maybe I don't have a choice. So I'm telling you, well, first go buy the book, because there's a whole chapter on this. And even at the end, after all of these discussions, you can actually rank, what's the most valuable of the currencies for you. My order is sanity, time, money. To me, money has the least amount of value, compared to my time and sanity. So go check out the book. There's a link in the comments section. But even if you don't go check out the book, try this for like a week or two. Really think about those currencies in any scenario. So since the book's about real estate investing, if you're thinking about doing a real estate investing strategy, maybe you don't make as much on one strategy. This is totally the case with me and turnkey rental properties. Maybe you don't make as much on one strategy, but all the while you're keeping your time and sanity. Versus if you go diving into the most advanced crazy town strategy, maybe you can make a gajillion dollars, but you've lost all your time and sanity in the meantime. And with real estate investing, I say all the time, if you're going to lose any sleep on your investments, it's not worth it. I don't care what the money is, I don't care how good the money is. So make a practice in the next week or two. And if you try this, leave a comment saying what your findings are. Or even if you don't try it, what are your rankings as far as which currency is the most important? But if you do try it, let us know what the scenario was and what you ultimately decided.